Hmm. So these are the ad hoc commands where we have a single task to be run on the target servers. So in that case, you will be using the ad hoc commands instead of going for the playbooks to be run. So playbooks means you need to be execute multiple tasks on the target servers. Like I want to copy the content. I want to create a file. I want to install the package. So that is these are the multiple tasks, right? So in that case, ad hoc is not recommended. It's a time waste kind of stuff. So just create a playbook and run the stuff, whatever the task you want to run, then you can run. So these are the task. Task means this is the one task, like this what it does. So here is the Srijan.
Asrikan.
Okay, okay. So these task means anything we can call a task. You want to copy a file, so that is one kind of task. You want to install a package, that is one kind of task. And you want to you want to create a file, so that is kind of one task. So these are the collection. As I told you, playbook is a collection of tasks. Mm. One person is also joining. So playbook is a collection of tasks. So each task we can call as a single task. So suppose you have used copy modules, so that is kind of one task. And task and modules are both are dependent to each other. So each module will be mentioned under the task section. So see, if you can see, this is the tasks. Not is an it is not a task. Tasks, plural. So in the task section, we have 3 tasks. So what is the module name here? Command is a one module, command module. Script is also one module, command also one module. So here both are tightly dependent. Means on the each task you should use at least one module. So module means in the next topic I'll be discussing. Yeah. So module means as I told you, shell is a one module, copy is a one module, file is a module, archive and archive. Archive and archive means suppose you have a file tar.gz file on your server in the master server, and you want to you want to extract that file, and you want to extract that file and you want to copy that on target servers. So for that we have a separate module, archive, unarchive kind of a module. So M module, we can also call service module. We can also have, wait, I can show you Ansible modules. So in real time, people won't write by their own playbooks. Everything will be grabbed from the Ansible official website. Suppose if I wanted to use a copy module, that's it. I will be doing that. I'll pick from the Ansible playbook. Simple. No need to worry about this Ansible. So if everything is mentioned clearly on Ansible official document. See, this is my copy module. So what it is referring? Here the copy module. Source means your master server, your Ansible master server. So in master server, you have a file called foo.config file, and you want to copy this file on target servers. Suppose you have a 10 servers, and on those servers you want to copy this file on the target mission on the 10 servers. What you will where should be copied this file, and you want to be copying etc directory in this file. It is a directory. If the file is not exist, it will overwrite. I mean, if the file is already exist, it will overwrite. If it won't exist, it will be created. So that is as simple as that. So this is source destination. This is the extra attributes you want to give. Suppose I mean you are copying on target server, right? The file is not there. What so not there means you are creating a file. In the logically you are creating a file. Copying pasting means the file is not exist and you are pasting it. Pasting means creating a file. So for that file, the target file, what kind of permissions to be get? So this is, as I told you, 644 means this is refers owner of the file. First 6 refers owner of the file. The middle one is uh, group. The last one is others. So here who is the owner? Foo is the owner and he belongs to the group, and that file need to be get these kind of permissions. So if you see ls-la, So this ls-la for this file, and that file you will be going to see owner is foo, group is foo. Let me show you. Let me give an example. Suppose this is my ls-la. So just imagine you the file is created here. This is my slave agent server. You just imagine this is my agent server. Here file is created. Let me create that file for you just for imagine purpose. foo.config. Okay. ls-la. If I do ls-la, where is that? Foo config. Who is the owner? EC2 user. Who is the group? EC2 group. Because how these permissions got? I mean, how this user group is got? Because I am in my user, EC2 user. I created file. Whoever create the file, he is the owner, obviously, right? He is the owner, and he belongs to the that group, ECT group. So the same case here, I am doing that. Here I created a file, but this will be done logically, remote. It will be done remotely. So how it will get the permissions? So that is you can going to mention. If you don't mention, it will get maybe root permissions or default user permissions. I mean, he will get maybe if it is running through the root user, then it will get root and root group. But you don't want to get that group root group or something, because suppose if the EC2 user wants to log into the server, if that file is not accessible, then what is the use of copying that file? That user need to be have that at least member of the group. If he's not a member of this group or he's not a owner of this file, then what is the use of the copying the file? So that's why we are going to mention owner and group and mode. What kind of permissions? You can't give the all permissions to the all user, right? You are the owner and you wanted to give the permissions based on your requirement. That is your opinion. You are the owner. You can also give the 0 permissions. No one will be able to access this file. So then it's your requirement. It's not like you have to give these permissions. Not like that. So like that, are you understanding or not? Srujan and Raj.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Raj, yeah, Raj. So are you able to understand or not? I think you already
Yes.
Okay, so
I can understand.
yeah, Srujan and you are new to this Ansible, right?
Yes,
I'm concerned about the permissions. What is this owner and group? So that is my concern. So okay, if you know that, then very good. So like that.
If you use become means we don't need to mention the owner and the group.
Yeah. So if you want to run this task with some other username, suppose I want to run this task as a EC2 user, so then no need to mention this. And I mean, you want to get owner group as a EC2 user. In that case, you can use a become user, or maybe sometimes you want to make other user to be owner, right? So in that case, obviously you need to give these permissions.
Okay.
Become is okay, that is different. Become is you want to run with that username. Suppose I have a file, this is my EC2 user directory. So I have some files like I have some script. Just think about this, my script. This is just my file. For this file, I have only one. I'm the owner of this file. No other users doesn't have the permissions to this file, my script file. But if I run, I can able to run. If I do become user, E2C user, I can able to run this file. But if some other user need to be run this script, then in that case, what is the situation? You have to give the permissions to that file. Here you need to give the owner. I mean, you want to give the ownership to the other user so that he can able to run. Or you can change the permissions. Other need to be run 7. The other 7 means read, write, execute permissions. So you can also do that.
Okay. Here we have to mention EC2 in the owner, EC2 user, and then the group EC2 user.
You can. It's an optional. You want to get the default user permission, then you can ignore these steps. but you are strict to the get these kind of permissions to the these files, or maybe you want to change the permissions to the some other user, then obviously you need to mention this owner or group like this. So
Okay, thank
so
you.
not only this, we have so many steps. You can also do this. And backup. So backup means by mistakenly you did the source destination. Okay, this is some related to some other path, but etc directory, some other directory, critical directories, you shouldn't touch that directories. Those are critical. If you do any kind of modification, then entire your servers will be collapsed. So in that case, you if you do okay, if this goes so well, that's fine. But I mean, if you think about in future, if this is not going to create any problem, then okay, that's fine. But safer side, if you keep backup, yes, then if the task will be executed successfully, but next day your manager or your some colleague will be saying, or maybe you yourself only, you feel regretted, like by mistakenly I run this task. If you modify that file, then you can't retrieve back, right? In Linux, you have created a file. You can delete the file. You can modify the file. You can't retrieve the delete a file, right? So that is a critical part. If you do any you have modified any file in etc directory, so this is the critical directory. You can't change anything here. But you the step need to be taken. You have to modify this file. So in that case, safer said keep the backup, yes, so that by mistakenly the later point in time you realize that you did a mistake. In that case, you will be having a backup file. Then you can read back the changes. So in that case, we will be using backup, yes. Okay. uh, I, I think this is enough. Remote source means this is very important section. I also covered. I also mentioned in interview question point of view. Remote source means the source destination means this source means your master server. You want to copy the files from the master server to the target servers. But why we need to use remote source? Remote source means you have a file on the existing servers only. I mean, in the target servers, you have a file in etc directory. You have file some file etc directory, sudo's file, and you want to copy this file into some other path, the same machine only, but some other path. In that case, you need to mention remote source. So what it will do? It will go to the target servers to this path. Suppose you have a file on opt directory, some Srikanth file is there in opt directory, and you want to copy that file into the ec2 directory, my user directory. So in that case, if you don't use this one, so what it will do? Source means it will check the master server, your server, where your playbooks is running. So it will check for, it will go to the etc directory and some suppose opt directory Srikanth file. From that file, it will take that file and it will copy to the target server. But I don't want to copy from my master server. I want to copy from the same server only, local server only, from source to destination. In that case, you need to mention remote server. This is important one. If you don't understand, I will go. I'll be repeating. But I want to understand whether you understand or not. Srujan and Raj
Yes, understand.
and Srujan and you.
Yes.
Remote server. If you
Hmm.
just remember this one, if you don't use, it will try to copy from master to slave server. But if you mention this, it will go to the target server only. It will try to check the same that server from this path to this path. It won't go. It won't try to check from the as master server. The same server. Both are belongs to same server. If you keep this one, if you don't keep this one, this is going to be master and this is going to be slave server. That is important one.
Okay.
So you can use these many attributes here in the copy module. Attribute backup, checksum, decrypt, destination. So you can use these many like this. So next part, what is that? Modules, so shell, copy, file, archive, and archive. Let me show you archive. Okay, I will be showing in the next few coming classes. Playbooks. No need to discuss because I already explained what is playbooks. Playbooks. See, this is a playbook. So name means your playbook name. Host means the target servers. You want to run this task on these servers, whichever whichever the IP is mentioned in this group. This is this group mentioned in the inventory file in /etc/ansible/host file. So that is the meaning of this web. So this is belongs to inventory file. So this is the task to be run on the target servers. This is about playbook. Ansible roles. This is the important section. Ansible roles means here we are discussing about the single playbook. Single playbooks you keep on modifying and doing the stuff, whatever the things you are adding. But playbooks mean Ansible roles means you have specific roles. Like suppose I have a MySQL server need to be set up. You don't create a single playbook and keeping all the stuff into the in that playbook. If you do that, you'll be confusing by seeing the playbook itself. So you will be having you will be creating a role called MySQL role. So in that, if you create a role, you will be it will create a default to files, handlers, metadata, task. When these are the main folders will be created. So each folder defines something, some particular stuff. What if let me come to the task. So this is task file is very important file. So your playbook will be run from the task file. So whichever the playbook will be you'll be writing here. So that the task file will be running from here. So if you have this main file, what about others? Why we need to use? Nowhere I will be explaining that. Forget about test folder. First I will go to the default. See, in the playbooks, these are all hard coded. Enabled or group to and copy name for copy paste or HTTP service. These are all are hard coded. But in real time, you are not going to write every time. You are not going to write playbooks every time. You will be passing the variables. You will be passing. Suppose here you will be giving the double quotes. So you will be passing the variables from your command line interface, or you will be mentioning those variables in some other file. So if whatever the file, you will leave this file. You will leave this playbooks. Keep aside. You don't do anything with this. So if you want to modify anything, I want to copy some. I want to install some HTTP package. You don't go to the playbook and you will modifying that. What will you will do. I mean to say that task file, you are not going to touch anything in task file, because in the task file you will be mentioning all the properties in the variables by using double quotes, not double quotes, that is what is curly braces. So you will be passing the variables from the default value. You will be in the default file, you will be giving the file some HTTP some name equal to HTTP. You're passing the default values to this file, and if that values matches in task file, so then it will grab from there and it will run the task. Default values. So default means if you don't mention anything in the playbook, then it will take from the default values. Then next is vars folder. So it will get the high priority than default. So in the files, the same variables mentioned in the default section, the same variables also available in the var section. So which will take suppose here a name equal to Srikanth is there. In default section also name equal to some Srijan is there. If you mention that variable in the task section, while running the task, it will take from the var section. The name Srikanth, the name equal to Srikanth will be run while you're running the task, because you also mentioned in the default section the same name attribute. You also mentioned the var section, but in the var section it will get a high priority task. Just default values. If you don't mention, then it will take from the default value. But if you mention in the var files, then it will try to take from the variables. See, in the var section, 5 variables are there. The default section, 6 variables are there. So here it will take from the same values. I'm talking about the same values. Same values they are there in default section. In the var section also same values are there. It will take the 5 values from here. The remaining is not mentioned, right? The remaining value not mentioned, right? So it will take from the default value. So 6 complete. So that is the meaning of defaults and vars. The vars will be having that higher priority than default. And the next section is files. files means you want to copy some files to the target mission. Those files you can keep in file sections. This is just a file, normal file. You can keep all the files here, and later in point in time you can call those files. Handler means, this is important section. Handler means uh, you written some task in the playbook. The task is executing one step by step. Step by step, one task is run and it will pick second task, and third task it will pick. But you want to copy, you want to run a task when the above task is successful. Suppose, let me give you example. We have Apache Tomcat. So build is generated, and we run the build. We got a jar file, and that jar file need to be copied on target servers. So I have some devs. I have a dev environment. So as a Jenkins master, I got var file. I want to copy this var file on the target servers, so that my application able to run, come up and able to run on the target servers. How will you copy? Obviously, you by using your Ansible playbooks, or maybe you will write the script. Keeping up aside the scripting part, you'll be writing the Ansible playbooks to run this step. And here my requirement is, whenever the changes is there, whenever the new changes are there, at that time only my Apache need to be started. I don't want to start my Apache for every modification. I want to execute. Suppose I have some in the playbook. I have Apache Tomcat service need to be restarted. I have another task also. But here I don't want to run HTTP service unless I don't I have the modification on the some other task. Unless there is a copy module, copy some source to destination. If I don't have that module, then I don't want to run this HTTP service, because there is no requirement, right? I don't have any new changes. Why should I run HTTP service? So in that case, you, based on the condition, you want to run some services, that is will be done by the handler. In the handler section, you will be writing a task. You will be writing a task. Under that, you will be mentioning a notify. In the notify section, you will be mentioning the name of the task. So if that above task to successfully run, then this need to be notified. So what is to be notified? That whatever the name is there, so that name is matching to the other service, like HTTP service need to be started. So it will call, if that task will executes, then that task will notify to the existing name, whatever the name is given in the notify section. So that let me give the example. Handler playbook. This is just theory part, so that's why I'm trying to explain the theory part. Theory will. Yeah, very good. I got one. See, here a service task. Okay, then focus on this one. Copy file to all servers. So source, I want when this happens, when the copies happen, I want to restart the service. See, if I don't mention handler, then the task will be done whether it's copied or not, and then automatically it will start the service, HTTP service. But I don't want like that. When the copies happens, then this to be notified to the handlers. See, restart Apache and restart Apache. Both are matching. So if this is happens, if the task is successfully done, then it will notify to the restart Apache. Where is the restart Apache? Where is the restart? Yeah, here is the restart Apache. So it will do, it will handle this. So what it will do, it will restart the service. So that is about handler. So next section is templates, means Jinja template. Jinja means I'll be discussing later, because it's a advanced topic. This is just like a variable section. You'll be writing some task in the template section, and you'll be modifying that task on the template file only, not modifying all these steps. You just modify the template file, then everything works as expected. So that is templates. Test, we no need to worry. It's just that you can't do anything with the test. So did I cover anything? Yeah. Readme.md means just the description. I mean, this is Apache role. So you can explain things in README section, just like a document. You know, right? In GitHub section, in GitHub we'll be having the README file. If you take anything, suppose if I take Docker, GitHub, any repository, there is a default file will be there. So here we are able to see the this kind of information. How we are able to see this information is present in the README file. If you open README file, yeah, this is a file. See, in the README file, everything is mentioned. That's why we are able to see here. If you do any modification in the README file, then obviously here also modify. So it's just a replica of this README file. So here also, it's a metadata, you can say. It's a metadata, I mean, just information point of view. If someone wants to understand about this role, what he will do, he will just go to the README file, and he will try to I mean, see the what it refers, this role. So basically, it will be used to, you know, when you push this code to the GitHub, so that if you mention, if you whatever you mention the README file, that will be shown here like this. So this is about Ansible role. The next one is last topic, I think, Ansible Tower. Yeah. So Ansible Tower, we are not going to use. I mean, many companies are not not using Ansible Tower, because it's not free. It's not a free. As I told you, in Ansible, not everything is a free, open source, or maybe free. So Ansible is a cost effective. I mean, we need to pay for the license, and it's very expensive. And we need to pay for the based on the nodes. I want to use for the 10 nodes, then you need to pay for the 10 nodes, and 100 nodes. For the 100 nodes, it will get charged. So Ansible Tower, nothing but it's just dashboard. I mean, here we are writing the playbook, right? Here we are not going to write any playbook. We can also write. You can also write the playbook, but it's just a dashboard. You can see what is happening in the Ansible infrastructure. Like this, just a dashboard. You can view what all the playbooks, how it is running. So it's just a dashboard, UI, you can say that. So this is all about Ansible. Srijan, did you have any doubt?
No doubts. I need to see.
Okay, I don't
I
know.
will say.
Raj, Srijan, keep in mute. Raj.
Can you please explain about Ansible Galaxy?
Yeah. Okay, fine. So Ansible Galaxy is nothing but an Ansible role. The way we are going to create Ansible roles by using Ansible Galaxy. See, Ansible Galaxy. If you give the role name, here I have given Apache. So it will create Apache folder. In Apache folder, all these directories will be present: default, files, handler, metadata. Very sad. See, if you use Ansible Galaxy in it, suppose I want to create a MySQL role. So what we will do, Ansible Galaxy in it, MySQL. Then you can give any name. So it will create a folder. It will create a folder test role. Under that folder, you will be seeing these many files: vals, test, templates, task, meta, handlers, files like this. And in future, I mean, someone is creating some infrastructure. They have a dependency to be set up this MySQL. So he won't create a MySQL playbook again, because Ansible MySQL is not an easy setup. You need to have some high level dependencies to be set up inside the playbooks. What he will do, you just call this playbook name, like role playbook. How will you call role? You will mention the role. Yeah, nothing is mentioned here. Yeah, very good. Got it. Go. See, so you want to call a role. So you can call multiple roles. Suppose you have a MySQL setup. You don't create a again a MySQL playbooks and you will be copying here. You copy pasting here. You just call the MySQL because we have a playbook. My role is what is the role? For the reuser purpose, we will creating roles and keeping aside. Whenever we require, we will just calling that role. Suppose here I want to call a MySQL role. So what I will do, I will give the hyphen and the role name. I will give the MySQL, and I have another role called Nginx. So what I will do, I will just give the hyphen and the Nginx. That's it. So you can mention how many roles you want. You can mention in the playbooks. So that is Ansible Galaxy. So Ansible Galaxy is just a naming where we can, by using that CLI, we are going to create a role. Understood, Raj?
Yes, yes, yes. And where this file
make a new request for this
folder
user and refer.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So okay. So Ansible roles. So, let me show you the diagram. Yeah. Yeah. So here you, if you can see the roles path. Not here. Maybe I missed it. I didn't take complete screenshot. So in Ansible config file, the default path will be there /etc Ansible roles folder will be there. So I mean, when you create any this role by using Ansible Galaxy init role name, wherever the path will be there, it doesn't matter like you, if you create in the current directory, then the role be created in the current directory, not like that. Whatever the path is there mentioned in the Ansible config file, so it will be created in the default path. I mean, the existing path. I mean, if you want to change your role need to be created some other path, then you can go to the et/etc/ansible ansible.config file. There you can see the roles path and give the what are the path you want to give. You can give like that, so like this. If you can see here. Raj, anything?
clear.
So Ansible config is just a default file. It will do anything. If you want to modify, then you can modify this. This is inventory path. This is a by default path. It is Ansible host. Ansible roles also created in the same directory, in the Ansible directory. Default path, I'm saying. If you want to change some, you want to give some other path, you can give. There will be concept of dynamic inventory, static inventory, and dynamic inventory. Static inventory means this is the inventory, this is static. But you have another inventory file. You want to run during the CLI. You want to call this inventory file during the CLI. Then you can call this inventory file like by giving the Ansible playbook -i and the path of that inventory file. You can run the playbook like that. No, I'm going to discuss everything in detail in coming lecture. This is theory part. I'm just giving the overview. Anything, Srujan?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So you need to remember that Ansible, that the main concept of Ansible is Ansible is a Linux product. It will acquired by the Red Hat, so it will works on the SSH authentication. It's a simple configuration part. You just need to give your master public key need to be copied in the target servers. That's it. That is a setup. The next point is installation. Installation simple. Yum install Ansible. Or if you didn't find any libraries, Ansible is not found. Then you need to install the Ansible yum install epel -release. In the no need to worry because all the cloud servers by default these packages coming. You just need to run. If you are using CentOS, yum install Ansible. That's it. If you are using Ubuntu, apt get install Ansible. That's it. So this is the way. So here in Ansible, inventory file is mandatory and the SSH authentication is mandatory. If you do a successful SSH authentication, then work is not done yet, because you made the authentication with the target servers, but you need to give the target IPs in inventory file. So where this task you want to run, then you can call the group name. By using group name, you can give the IP address, like that. So these are the main points. These are the we can learn easily. What are the modules, module concept, playbooks, task, adobe, Ansible, role, tower. These are the technical we can learn easily, but the concept is very important. If you know the concept, then we can learn anything. We have already we have suppose if I want to use shell module, Ansible. See, you can modify as per your requirement. That's it. You want to use archive module. See, archive means compressing. I mean, you want to compress into some other file, that is unarchive means extracting. Archive means compressing, unarchive means extracting. Simple. Raj, okay.
Yes.
Understood, right? So in real time also people won't try to buy, by their own. If they have any doubt, then they will just go to the Google and search for the module and they will copy paste. That's it. Simple, nothing. No need to worry. It's a complicated one. Simple one. We can complete this Ansible within 3 days, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 days maximum.
Uh, I have
Student,
one doubt.
yeah.
Is it necessary to copy the this file, this public key?
Yeah.
Even with copying IP address, we can
No,
work Ansible.
no. If you give IP means, see, I have your IP. If I try to log in, will it be accessible or not? No, because there is no authentication. If I know the IP means that is not over it.
Okay.
How can I? How should a system know? You know me, but the system doesn't know who you are. So that's why we need to give the public IP. Okay, this person has a public key. My key is there. So the authentication means you will be having the private key and public key. Private key you will be keeping. That is critically you shouldn't share with anyone. You will be giving the public key to some other server. Some other servers means you have that public key means. So you want to access to see my server, my laptop is there. I want to access your laptop, but how can I access? I need to give my public key to your system. So what you will do, you will copy, I mean, you will paste to my public key into your path, like in .sh folder, some authorized file, so that my system able to, and whenever I request you to log into your server, so it will come and it will ask your system will ask who you are. So I will say that you know me because my key already there in your server. Please check. So what your system will do? Okay. Let me go to the authorized file. So your key is there or not? Okay, key is there. Okay, you are authenticated person. You can log into my server, like that. So in the authentication also not simple. Just copying public key, it won't do. My public key, private key will be encrypted. My public key is there in your server. If I want to log into your server, I need to have the same private key which I generated for the public key. So that private key will be decrypted to log into your server. It will decrypt and it will compare my public key to your server. If everything is matched, then it will try to log in. See, my public key is there in your server and some other server means it won't happen. If I I have public key, but I have another private key. I have generated another private key. If I try to log in through that private key, the new generated private key, to the previous public key, the authentication won't happen because the public key, private key will be generated at a time. It shouldn't be changed. If you change the private any key, it won't accept. Understood? Okay, if the
Ah.
time is getting over, I'll be posting in group these videos. Raj, are you satisfied?
Yes, yes, I am satisfied. And thanks.
ఓకే సృజన్ నీకు అర్థమైందా సృజన్ డౌట్స్ ఉంటే నాకు పిన్ చేయి ఓకేనా
Like,
ఓకే శ్రీ
ఓకే బాయ్ బాయ్ రాజ్
Bye, bye.
బాయ్ సృజన్
Bye, bye, bye. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes.